Okay, let's start. I think we are not totally in full force, but I think we're good. Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to today's Orchestrator meeting. As always, let's have a look at the agenda for today. So we have a new pull request by Paul. Because now that's 37130. That's going to be huge because it introduces some kind of persistent Ceph ADM daemon running on all hosts. So,
just to say one thing is I think that first of all I need to clarify something here, okay? Because this could be a first step in order to have this diamond mode with a lot of functionality.
Yeah.
But now the scope is just to gather the information about things that we have in the host, about hardware and diamonds. Okay, so this is the current scope. Okay, and maybe it could be the seed of something bigger. Okay, the FADM diamond with all the functionality that we need. Okay. But this is not our target in this moment. In this moment, the target is just to solve the problem about the time that we need to retrieve information about what we have in the host, okay? And this is something that is going to be good for the orchestrator and also for the dashboard. So this is the thing that I want to transmit, okay? Because this morning I have talked with Paul, and we had another conversation on Friday in the orchestrator meeting. And do you remember that I think that Joshua expressed some worries about the design, the architecture of this diamond, okay? And this is not our current use case. What we want to have is just to solve the problem around scalability, because we are taking a lot of time in order to get all the information that we need from the host. Okay, so I think that most of the points that you have put in the document, okay, are things that we need to discuss, okay? But probably this is not the moment, okay? We can start with a document about design and something that probably we can go over. I think that not for Pacific. It's something that will be more in the future. I don't know, but
yes,
probably probably you will be happy to know that, okay? Because I think that you are about to have a downstream release in October.
Yeah.
Is that true? Okay. So maybe to introduce this kind of changes only 2 months before the release is not a good idea.
Yes, of course, it doesn't make sense to implement everything in this one pull request. But as far as I can see, the architecture that we have is really suitable in order to extend it further in the future.
Yeah. It could be good. I think that this is the right way. Well, my thought is that probably what we need is something like a kubelet, okay? But we can start with this kind of diamond.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Miguel, you know me. I'm for having smaller pull requests instead of bigger ones, right?
Yeah. Yes. I know.
Okay. But I mean, we have the opportunity to have a small discussion about the performance and the scalability of Ceph itself, not just gathering information about hosts and daemons and the inventory, but having a discussion about a bigger picture, right? This pull request from Paul really provides a way forward if we on the way to on the way forward want to improve or have an idea how to improve the performance even further.
Yes. Good. We can talk. Sure.
So, like for example, we have a Ceph loop, yeah, that does 4 steps, and then it does nothing, and then it does 4 steps. And the first step is it refreshes the host and the daemons to basically display the information to the dashboard. Then the second step is to remove daemons if they are unknown to Ceph ADM. The fourth step is to deploy new daemons, and the last check is to restart daemons or reconfigure daemons if they need to get reconfigured. And refresh host and daemon, that's the one that Paul is really looking into right now. That's slow because it has to go to each host and is going to execute some expensive steps like calling Ceph volume inventory or getting all the host information or daemon information. And I mean, that's important for the dashboard. But there are also things that we might need to consider, like the general thing that connections to all hosts are expensive. If we are calling each host from the manager daemon because the manager is already overloaded, especially from the Prometheus module and the dashboard module, then the second problem we have is that config key, the speed is already a bit questionable. I don't know how much it scales actually. It might be okay for us, or it might become a problem. So we always have to be careful about putting too much stuff into config key or updating config key too often. The next problem is that SSH connections are slow. Making SSH connections to all hosts is going to be slow and expensive, especially if we want to keep SSH connections open persistently and stuff like that. And the last big problem that I see is timeout. If we end up with servers that are offline, or we have network issues and we are running into timeouts, then everything is basically stalled. And yeah, do we have any other ideas than introducing some kind of Ceph ADM daemon on each host to solve all far future issues?
Well, I would like to have really an HTTPS interface, a full API REST interface in order to operate with the Ceph ADM daemon, okay? But this is the end design, okay? No, it's not what we have in this moment. I think that we should be centered basically in trying to solve the urgent problems that we have in this moment, okay? And I think that with this pull request, well, basically, okay, it's not perfect, but it's, it's probably much better than what we have in this moment, okay? So
yes, of course.
I think that I don't understand why you are saying that SSH is slow, because what we are going to use in order to get information is HTTPS. So why?
Yeah, we are still creating lots of HTTP and SSH connections to all hosts. I mean, we are going to improve the display, the refresh rate of information, but we are still creating lots of SSH connections. Anyway, maybe the question was too general, too wide.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm
Yes, I
just
think
seeing
that.
a big potential for having future scalability improvements if the time comes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to introduce the last point that I have right. Okay. I think that in this case we should do exactly the same that we have. We have put a new document, a design document about high-level workflows, about device OSD management and storage device selection. Okay. I think that is a high-level view of the problem, the things that we need to solve, okay, and even a proposal of interface, okay, that can be changed, okay. But I think that it illustrates perfectly the kind of things that I think we need to have in the user interface. I think that we should do exactly the same for CFADM. We know perfectly what is the best thing of CFADM, that is how it works with containers, and what are the advantages of this kind of approach. So maybe we should start to think in the big picture, okay, not for specific, for the next version probably, okay, about how to provide a well-defined design architecture, okay? Because I think that, it's something that I am saying in this moment, okay, in the project, that we have been working here for one year, than 1 year in this moment, more or less. And there are a lot of effort here, okay, but we do not achieve to have something really robust, okay. I think that is my opinion, okay. So I think that probably we should think twice about the design, about the goals, and starting to see how we can move everything in the right direction. Because yesterday or past week you talked about 800 pull requests done for CFDM. I think that is a very big effort. Okay, it's incredible. It's just a component of Ceph, and we have 800 pull requests. Okay, and the other thing that we have is that basically we are with the same number of bugs in the last 6 months. Okay, we do not. It's not possible to reduce the number of bugs or to improve heavily the robustness of the FADM. So I think that this illustrates what is our current situation. Okay, that okay, we have something that I think that is very good to show what is the way to follow. Okay, but we need to think twice about how we are doing the things in order to improve that. We have started to do that, okay? Because, for example, with the ATEM that we are having in this moment about splitting the code in different parts in order to restructure the code and to make more easy to deal with all the code, okay? So we are in the right way, but I think that this is something that we need to do, and I would like to start in the same way that I have put, for example, the information about the workflow about the OSDs and storage device management. I think that we should start with a clear definition of what we want. Okay, then we should analyze what different possibilities we have. Okay, in order to implement that high level, then structure a right architecture with blocks, with how each block is interacting with the other blocks. What are the inputs? What are the outputs? What is going to be our interface? And after that, start to implement. Because in this moment, is my view, Sebastian, that I think that we have in a situation where we have something, okay, this is going to work, okay, but it's going to be very difficult to maintain. We are going to have problems about bugs, very difficult to solve, okay, because basically we have started with something that it was just a proof of concept, okay, that it was ideal, okay, because I think that it shows exactly what was the Sage idea about how to manage this problem about orchestrators.
So I just recently saw your design workflow. I didn't read it until the end. Actually, I just came like 10 to 20% through before the meeting. But I think that's a very good start, and we should definitely start the discussion when we want to change something very early, and should also come to a consensus before we do bigger changes. So I appreciate the effort that you did. But I think we should do the same thing for the Ceph ADM changes because they also introduce it actually changes the way we do things, and that should be discussed beforehand as well.
Yes, this is exactly what I'm saying, okay? That we have something now, okay? But if we want to have something robust and we have and we want to avoid to have problems in the future, probably we should do this kind of thing, okay? But I think that we are agree. We are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to read your pull request.
Yeah, sure. It's just a high level vision, okay? But
yeah,
the important thing. Sorry.
It's a bit too
Continue.
too much text in order to get the high level overview out of it. I think we really have to read it.
Yes, sure. Okay, but the aim of this pull request is just to start a discussion about how we want to manage OSDs and storage devices in a Ceph cluster. Okay, and what is the best way to do that, and what is the more easy way for the final user? Thinking always in the final user. Okay, so it's just my vision. We have commented this vision, okay? I have talked with Ernesto, I have talked with Paul Kartner, okay? But it's something that we have started to do between us, okay? But now it's open and completely, we can change completely the what I have written, okay? Probably you will have a lot of ideas about that, but I think that is a good thing to start with a clear definition of the requirements of what we want, okay? And after that, we can start to see how we can implement that.
I'm super happy to have some kind of discussion about the overall path forward when it comes to devices, storage devices, and OSD management. Yeah, I'm really super happy.
I'm happy too.
Yeah, and then let's have a look at the pull request and discuss things in more detail. But a big thank you for the effort you put into this pull request.
You're welcome. I think that we are everybody is searching the same. That is to achieve the better product possible. Okay, and something that will be easy for everybody to maintain and to go forward.
Indeed, and with the current implementation, we have at least some starting point, and from here we can continue to improve. And I think with the architecture of Ceph ADM and with the dashboard, there is a huge opportunity to keep improving the usability of Ceph ADM, not just in this release, but also in the release afterwards and for the following years. So I see this as a continuous endeavor and always strive to improve the usability.
Yeah.
Then, has anyone tried always open SSH connections to avoid setup tear down overhead? We have a persistent SSH connection cache, or not persistent, but we have a cache of open SSH connections. The problem comes when this connection cache is full. So we have get connection.
You are talking about test?
I'm talking about SSH persistent or keeping SSH connections open from Dan. Dan, are you here? Dan? Mic doesn't work. Okay. Have a look at the lines I just pasted into the manager module. The problem with keeping SSH connections open for all hosts is that it's going to be a huge burden on the resources of the manager. So we have to somehow limit the number of connections we keep open. But in general, yes, that's already done. So next topic. Zach, I think that's from you. We have two different documentation sites. That's one Ceph readthedocs.io and docs.ceph.conf.
Yeah, so this is just an issue that I want to introduce. This won't be solved right now, and I'll bring it up in the leadership team meeting, but this is going to be like with us for a month or so. Docs.ceph.com has a substandard search that allows you only to search for the first string before white space. So if you search for Ceph ls, for instance, then you're going to get Ceph, which is obviously a crummy search. That's not great. So I bugged Kefu about this back in like March and April, and then he came up with this solution with this Read the Docs site, which has a great search, but we don't get the benefits of the Sphinx auto documentation for the API on the Read the Docs site. So I don't know how to solve this yet, but that's the dilemma that we're in. You can have one site that gives you good API docs and no search, or another site that gives you search with no API docs. Eventually, we want to have a site that has both, and that's that issue. I just want to like put that on the stack so that people are thinking about it. I don't expect any real like useful discussion out of this right now. That's all.
I mean, one idea would be to just commit the source code of the API documentation into the source tree and then let read the docs properly generate the documentation for everything.
Is that, I don't actually know how costly that is. Do you know?
It's a bit bad because you would commit things that are that can be generated.
Yeah. So I'll add that to the list of possible solutions, just so we have the problem space mapped out, so that it. But yeah, I'm not crazy about the idea. I would like something that's not, I don't know, I want to call it expensive, but that's not such an extreme solution. But yeah, that's a thing, that's a discussion that will have to be had over the next few weeks before we come up with something. Kefu says he doesn't want to maintain the Read the Docs site. Like, people aren't really using it that much, and he doesn't want to maintain it if people aren't using it for the next 2 months. But like, the search is so much better, and the very first thing that I confronted when I came into the Ceph project, the first big issue was that when I used the search, I just couldn't find anything at all. So I can only imagine that other people who are coming to it cold are frustrated with the lack of good search.
There a better way to have a good? Is there a way to have a better search when generating the docs with strings, or is it just the default search and that's it?
The default search, as far as I can see, it's the default search and that's it. I just put this in here because it's like one of the things on my mind for this week and for this upcoming month. I have notes on this from last March, and yet the Sphinx search is just crummy, and people have raised issues about it, and it's just like, it's not a priority for that project. So, in fact, unless I'm mistaken, I believe they direct you to just create a Read the Docs site. But then, as I said, when you do that, you don't get the auto documentation of the API, which I understand is a big deal for people who work with that.
I can't give you a great answer right now, right?
Yeah, I don't expect one. It's just like, expect to hear more about this in the future, and that's all. So, thanks.
Okay. That's what we had on the agenda for today. Anything else we can discuss today? Okay, doesn't seem to be the case. Then, thank you everyone, and let's sync up then next time. Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See you, Sebastian.
Bye.